I think you should start.
I should start?
Yeah.
Okay. So, just like everything else, Matt and I come from different worlds. He's from New Jersey and I'm from West Texas.
North Jersey.
And-
Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, not pork roll.
oh my gosh. That's an ongoing debate.
There you go.
Oil and gas and cattle and football really is the only thing in part of West Texas that I came from. So I gravitated to marketing in the oil and gas industry. Worked for a company named PLS, which oddly enough is modeled after the MLS. But we packaged and sold either royalties, land, any type of property that had to do with oil and gas. And that was in the mid to late 90s. So everything was done by paper. So we had a big mailing list. I managed the marketing department, helped put packagings together, worked with the petroleum engineers to put big packages together. Someone had a big piece of land. So we closed our West Texas office and moved to Calgary and Denver. And I was one of the only people that went up to office with one of the petroleum engineers, helped him out in his research, as well as still doing the PLS publications. And that's where I met Matt. And you were doing sales and marketing at that point too, right?
Yeah, so like you said, I'm from North Jersey, born and raised. Yeah, I went to school there. And what got me to Colorado was my sister was working for Anheuser-Busch at the time, and I had come out 2 summers. I did internships with them. And when I graduated college, they hired me right away in Long Island, where I worked in the marketing department, which was basically go around 6 nights a week to local bars, and we did like their POS, right? Their T-shirts, handed out mugs, pins. We just, try anything we could do to hype up that bar for that night. Because where I was in Long Beach, Long Island, which was in the summer. There, it's a summer town, right? It's a June, July, August kind of place. So at the end of that, I reached back out to my contacts in Colorado and asked if they were hiring, and they're like, "Yeah, come on back out." So that's what got me back to Colorado when I met you. So,
yep.
And then at the time, I kind of saw, like, I was looking down the road with company like with Anheuser-Busch, and I don't know, it wasn't really, the sales reps there are just kind of like, and no offense, so they're just order takers at the end of the day. They just, they go in, they restock the shelves, and, it's not a very lucrative type of career. It's a career, it's a great career, but I decided at the time it was the .com revolution, and I decided to go back to school. Well, it was back to, like, it was a programming,
C++.
It was a programming, like a 7-month, like, programming, learn to program in 7 months, right? Certificate, yeah. So actually a buddy of mine and I went to do that, and because we saw how much, like, we're like, how much these programmers make? Well, anyone who knows me, I'm not a programmer. I don't have the capacity intellectually to be a real programmer. Let's be honest.
But that led you to Lucent.
Exactly. So at the time, I always had a part-time job, always. And I was working at a liquor store part-time, and I would keep a stack of resumes under the register because it was kind of an affluent area, and individuals would come in with, like, Lucent Technologies on their shirt or Cisco. So I just started handing my resume out while I'm checking people out. And one of those turned into the interview with Lucent, and they hired me. So they hired me as, like, an operations manager, and I knew nothing about the position, the role. And come to find out, it wasn't much of a role. Let's be honest. It was very strange. So at the time, if any of, like, Lucent spun off of, I think, like, AT&T, and they were going through a complete, even when they hired me, it seemed like they were going through a downsizing, right?
Yeah, a reorg for sure.
Oh, and then you went, remember you came to Florida, right? You visited your brother. You kind of.
I did.
Yeah.
Up in the Panhandle. He was on one of the EOD training centers up there.
Right, he's a Marine.
And I came home from the 4th of July, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Just said, I love Florida. I want to go to Florida.
Right. Well, she got her wish because Lucent says, hey, we have openings in Florida. Do you want to transfer? And well, actually, first they offered like San Francisco, and me, looking at the cost of living in San Francisco, I was like, well, how much of a bump is it going to be in our salary? It was like minimal. So I was like, we could rent a place in San Francisco or we could buy a house in Florida. And at first they said, I think Jacksonville, and then they said like St. Pete, Clearwater, and then they finally settled on Altamont Springs, right, which is, right outside of Orlando. Kind of wish it was St. Pete, Clearwater.
That was 20 plus years ago.
Exactly. So they moved us down here. They paid for everything. We packed up the car, right?
Yeah.
Drove down, took a little tour of the country.
Yeah. Got
down here, started working at Lucent again, and then you got a job, right?
Yeah, I think that's when Kenny Koo hired me at Apopka Printing, which the building's not even
doesn't exist anymore.
That was the closest thing I had because I'd been managing the print department or the marketing department and putting out all the print publications. So, and they were 5 minutes from our townhome that we bought. So, yeah, hit them up. I learned tons of stuff there. I learned offset press, I learned pre-press, how to correctly set up a file for print. I mean, I was in sales, but I learned everything about the process. Not that I could do it, but I learned about it.
Right.
So yeah, that's what got us our start here. And just to think back to when I first started working at PLS part-time and learning desktop publishing and how that rolled over to Denver and then to here, it's just pretty amazing that everything happens for a reason, I say. When you look back on hindsight's 2020,
right,
it really did all add up and amount to something.
Yeah. And at the time, like, I'm working at Lucent, really not doing much of anything, sitting.
You got your MBA while you were there.
Well, so that's it. I took advantage of their education that they were offering. So they did pay for me to go back. I went to Nova Southeastern University. They had a adult program. It was like nights and weekends, right? For 2 years, I think.
It was a remote program.
Remote, yeah.
We even had like an actual campus here locally in Orlando.
Right.
Yeah.
So went back, they paid for that, covered all the costs, graduated, and then what was it, 2 months later, they laid me off.
Yeah.
But during that, I mean, I was reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? I was kind of already like knew like we had to do something on our own.
Well, you always were a hustler. You always were thinking ahead and thinking of new and innovative ways to do things. Like that's just part of who you are. I laugh. Probably a lot of people won't know what Cocktail is, but it's a Tom Cruise epic classic. You gotta watch it. But he always had like a how-to book under the bar, like how to get rich, millionaire next door. Like
I got a whole closet now.
And like I always joked with him that was him. Like just, it's a good thing. It is a really good thing because it's always pushed us. We've been in up markets and down markets, and it's always pushed us to the next level. So